Hey everyone, welcome to today's 4 Focus for NBA Draftkings. I hope you had a good night last night, Wednesday, night before Thanksgiving. Um, if you had played, or if you had started with my 4 Focus, I have a hard time believing you didn't cash at all unless you really bombed on your other picks. I went with Eric Bledsoe, Will Barton, Kevin Love, and Dwight Howard. All these players combined scored just under 180 points. Bledsoe came in at 49.50. Will Barton came in at 40. Kevin Love came in at 38 points. And Dwight Howard almost a 50 bomb, 49.25. Um, I was very strong on all these players. Kevin Love came in a little less than I was expecting. I was expecting at least 45 out of him, but I'll take 38 all day, especially when everyone else. I mean, I got a couple players almost dropping 50. They're shattering, 7, 8 times value and stuff. My highest roster on the night went for 318.25. On this roster, I had Chris Paul. I had Zach Randolph at 1.6% ownership in a large tournament. He was going against the Lakers, and I really didn't understand that one. I guess maybe people went with Willie Cauley-Stein. I also had Nikolai Vucevic for a second night in a row. He had 36 points, not bad. I thought I was in for a bigger night, but George Hill finally, he was scoring, mid 20s to 30 points, last few games, and he dropped 5.25 points. That one hurt a lot. If he had, put up another 25 points like he's been doing, I'd probably be sitting in some really good money. But overall, I mean, I won a couple of dollars. I only played about $20. I went for more GPP with a bigger slate and stuff. I don't really play cash games unless it's a smaller slate, like less than 8 games or so. I ran multiple variations with the 4 Focus, and this was my best roster. 318, can't complain. Over 300 every night. You're winning money. But let's go ahead and get into today's. Well, I'm recording this on Thursday, but this is Friday's main slate. We got multiple games, and not a big fan of this slate. I'm going with a couple cheaper players, but I think y'all guys are gonna like this one. First up tonight, Charlotte Hornets point guard Kemba Walker. Kemba and the Hornets are going on the road to Cleveland to face the Cavaliers for the second matchup between them in, I believe, a week or so. Last time out, Kemba scored 37.8 drafting points. He went 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. That was a solid game out of him. Could have been better. I believe I played him that night. It was a little underwhelmed, but I still stand by. I've talked before, wing positions against the Cavs. At any moment, any team can go off against them outside. They're still not up to where they want to be out there, and I honestly don't know if they ever will be, especially when IT comes back from injury. I don't think he's not a good defender really at all. They should. I don't see actually that position getting any better unless they make a huge trade for someone. I still keep playing wing defenders against Cleveland until they prove otherwise. They have gotten better as a team, but it's still a position I like to attack, just like I attack centers against Brooklyn. At 8,200, he's a little up there in price for my liking. He's going to need about 48 drafting points, but this is Kemba Walker. High usage player. I can see that very much happening. Dwight Howard had a bad game against the Cavs last time, and I can see that happening again. So they're going to need someone to step up, and this is Kemba's team. I see it happening. Lock him in. Next up, shooting guard Tim Hardaway Jr. of the New York Knicks. New York Knicks are on the road at Atlanta, and I believe Tim Hardaway played the last 2 seasons for Atlanta. I wouldn't call this a revenge game at all. If anything, it's a familiar court he's used to, and sometimes that can leave a little more points for a player being more comfortable, or he gets a little hype playing against his former teammates and stuff. But that's not the reason I'm actually picking Hardaway, and I honestly picked Hardaway before I realized he played for them last year. Hardaway has been scoring some monster points and only had a 6,600 salary. He could easily hit 8 to 9, maybe 10 times value on a really good night. Atlanta is terrible against shooting guards and small forward. I believe they're they're bottom five against that position. Um, Hardaway has thrown up 60 points. He's only scored up 61 time. This last game against Toronto, but he put up 56 against Cleveland, a night I played him and actually won a good amount of money with Courtney Lee at his side. And that's actually where I started playing wings against Cleveland. And he also put up 42 against Houston and 57. Actually, he's still up 57 against Cleveland twice. Um, so I'm locking in Hardaway Jr. He's taken some production away from Porzingis. Is the reason why Porzingis hasn't put up some better games in fantasy is because of Tim Hardaway Jr. So I'm excited to play Tim Hardaway against Atlanta. He might be a little chalky just because people would think there's a revenge game narrative, but there really isn't. But I'm locking him in, and you should too. Next up, we got shooting guard Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are playing host to the New Orleans Pelicans, which probably is not good for Phoenix Suns. I believe DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis are going to come in and they might throw up 60, 70 points to combine together against the Suns, which leads to Devin Booker having to shoot. And as long as his shot is going down, I think he's in line for a big game because they're going to need every point they can get. DeMar DeRozan, I believe, threw up almost 50 twice in the last week and a half, 2 weeks against against the Pelicans, and they're both shooting guard, small forward eligible. Yeah, very similar game those two have, and I believe Devin Booker can probably mirror exactly what DeRozan did against them. He's thrown up 39 or more points 4 out of the 6 last games. That's Draftkings points. And I believe he's going to have to bring his A game against the Pelicans if they want to win that game. This is not a good team at all. They have no one up front to cover or defend against DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis. So I believe Devin Booker is going to have to put the team on his back and shoot this one if they want to win the game. Lock him in. Last but not least, shooting guard Etwan Moore of the New Orleans Pelicans. Like I said, Devin Booker, the Pelicans are visiting the Phoenix Suns, who are absolutely terrible against basically every position out there, but especially against the guard position. Devin Booker can score, but he cannot defend at all. Etwan Moore is averaging about 30 to 33 minutes a game, and his floor looks like to be about 17, 18 points with a ceiling of almost 35 points. And at $3,700 value, he could possibly hit 10 times value on any night, I believe. But with this, easily can hit 6 times value, which is what you want at 3,700. He's a great value play. I believe he's one of the safer value plays on the slate. And I wanted to give you guys a value play just because the mid tier didn't look so good in my opinion. You might want to pay up for like a LeBron James, who's a little pricey. So I wanted to help save y'all a little bit of money somehow. But I'm locking in Etwan Moore every lineup probably for my value pick, and I think you should too. There you have it: Kemba Walker, Tim Hardaway Jr., Devin Booker, and Etwan Moore. I picked 4 guys I think you should focus your lineup around. Definitely capable of going up and getting one of the expensive players if you want. I'd probably stay away from the bigs against Phoenix and in fear of a blowout. Then again, it's DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis. They could both throw up 60 fantasy points. I'll probably lean more towards LeBron James. But with this lineup build, you're more than capable of getting one of those position players in your roster. You would definitely need to find another value pick, but you should be able to find that easily. I gave you Etwan Moore at only 3,700. Good luck this evening. Hopefully we can go on a 2-0 streak with success on my picks. And let me know how y'all do on Twitter. My Twitter handle is planet_Taylor. People start following me on there on Twitter. I'll post updates and stuff throughout the day more often on there. And let's get it.